What are your strengths? Can you answer that for me right now? No, seriously, it's a question that is really hard for people to answer, trying to figure out what they are good at. So today we are going to talk about how to answer this question in an interview, and if you are struggling at figuring out what your strengths are, how to find them. So if we haven't met, my name is Cassandra and I help motivated professionals build their careers through practical tips to gain career confidence. And today that confidence needs to be in our strengths. Hey, look at that. So I know this is something that is really hard for a lot of people. Like, a lot of us don't know what we're good at, or we don't know how to talk about what we're good at. When you're asked in an interview, what are your strengths? I don't want that question to stump you. So let's talk about how to answer it and how to figure out what those strengths are. So when answering this question, you want to use the job description, right? When you're practicing, look at the job description and figure out what skill do you have of what they have listed, or what is a skill or strength that you have that would be an asset to the skills and functions they have listed. So sometimes it's a one-to-one, like they say they want someone with great presentation skills and you've already done presenting for the last 3 years and have had great responses to it. Sometimes it's something a little more under the surface, but you can look at the task that you would be doing and go, okay, to do that task, I would need to know how to do these things. I'm really good at this thing. And then that is the strength that you can use. But here's the thing, don't just name a strength, give an example of how you have it and why it's a strength for this position. Remember, they don't know you, so you can't just say communication and then sit there. Like, you need to give them an example of how you've communicated well in the past and then make it even stronger by saying, and I think that's really a strength for this position because I know I would be needing to blah, 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 and I believe this is something that would really help me in that. Like, give them an example and the reason why it's a strength. Now, this next one might sound obvious, but I've seen it happen. Don't share an unrelated strength to the position. Like, y'all, I'm real good at finding new items at Target before they're on any of those Instagram posts, but I still haven't found a job where that's going to help. So I'm never going to share that as my strength in an interview. Now, what if you don't know what you're good at? You're sitting here going, Cassandra, seriously, at this point, I don't feel good at anything, or I'm not quite sure what my strengths are. I haven't found my sweet spot yet. Well, there are a couple of things you can do. Number one, write down the things that come easy to you that you think, but doesn't everybody do that? Oftentimes, those are strengths that we just have undermined. We think everyone does it the way we do. Y'all, I have 2 planners and a list sitting next to me. I'm organized. I'm scheduled. I think everybody does this. I've learned they don't. So that would be a strength. My time management and scheduling skills would be a strength. So think through, what do you do that not everyone does? Or what do you do that you think, doesn't everyone do that? They probably don't. That's probably a strength. Number 2, ask friends and family. Hey, what do you think I'm good at? What have you seen that maybe I don't realize I'm good at? This is really good in getting strengths that are a little bit more under the surface or not a hard skill. I think sometimes we're good at knowing our hard skill strengths, like I'm a good or more physical-esque strengths. I'm a good writer or I'm a good planner, but we don't know things that our friends know, like, you know, you're really good at listening, or you're really good at when we're in a meeting and everyone's got a bunch of ideas and we've thrown a bunch of things out there, you're really good at synthesizing all that information and summarizing it at the end of the meeting. Like, those are strengths. We just don't think about them and we don't see them for ourselves. But hearing what other people observe about us can be really helpful to figure out what can be good answers. Another thing to do is, if you've been working, look at past reviews of your position. Like, what have supervisors given you praise for in the past? Those are going to be strengths. And it's always nice to use strengths that your past supervisors have said are strong in you, they're probably going to be an asset in the future. Now, if you are having extreme trouble with this, or you can only think of really hard skill things like I'm great at writing, right? You may want to use StrengthsFinder. So StrengthsFinder is an online assessment. The easiest way to do it to me is to buy the book on Amazon, which I will link below, and in it comes a code, and you can take this assessment. It's not a test. You're not getting graded. You can take this assessment and see, oh, what are my strengths? I've found it's really helped people put a language to what they're good at that can be a really nice asset in the interview and even in earlier stages, like when you do informational interviews with people on your resume. It really helps you see what to highlight about yourself. And so you may want to go do the StrengthsFinder assessment, get the book so you can read more about your strengths after you've done it. On Amazon, it normally costs between $12 and $15 depending on the day. I truly think it's helpful if this is an area you struggle with or you just want to get to know yourself better. It's a really helpful tool. I'm a huge StrengthsFinders fan. Now, if you also need more help in your job search, well, I have a course for you. Feel confident and prepared for your next interview. It's a short course because I want you to learn and go take action and do. And so you can get the link to that in the description box below. It has everything I do personally when I'm preparing for a job to make sure I feel ready and confident. I want you to feel ready and confident, so go check that out too. That's it for today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.